Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. It's a super exciting day. My name is Bola Obileye, and you're back on Conversations with Bola. Today, I've got an incredible guest, and I'm super excited because, as many of you might know, I'm an arts lover. And in the building with me today is one of the most incredible rising stars. And in fact, should I say, what's the next level above rising? He's already there. His paintings are being enjoyed by collectors worldwide. It is none other than Mr. Kingsley Obasi. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me too.
Thank you so much. I've got a small collection of his works, but I am excited I get super excited when I see some of his works in other people's homes, on Instagram, on television, and all over the place. He is incredible. And hopefully we can get into the mind of this great artist today, Mr. Kingsley Obasi. My first question to you is, what is your inspiration? I know how cliche that sounds, but what is that inspiration?
Well, my inspiration is about life, my experiences from childhood up until now, and the environment, the things I see around me really inspires me, like plants, nature, flowers, and little kids. They inspire me a lot.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, one of the things that we've been talking about is the art renaissance generally, with the world really opening up their arms to African art, to Nigerian artists. How have you found that? What's your take on it? What do you think actually sparked this whole movement where people can't get enough of African artists?
What sparked the movement, in my own opinion, is about the narrative.
Okay.
Because we're here to change the narrative. It's not a curriculum thing like we have in schools. It's about the individual telling their stories and pushing up a narrative that can really connect to the world, not to a specific ethnic group or people, just to connect to the world.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about who you are, how you started in art, where you studied, how this magic about your works began.
It began from my childhood because I have a brother who started the art movement in the family, and I've watched him draw all my life. So because I'm close to him, that really grew this passion for art in me. Like, let me mention this. I was studying mass communication in the university, and getting close to my brother and going to the art school to see him now developed that feeling. So I had to drop from mass communication school and go into art school full time.
Wow, that's incredible. So you were already studying mass communication,
Yes.
and then decided to pivot
Yes.
to art. Wow. How long ago are we talking about? How many years ago? How?
10 years ago, more than 10 years ago, professionally, more than 10 years ago. But like I said before, from childhood.
Okay. So many artists out there and creatives out there as well start on this journey of art and creativity, but somehow sometimes they get stuck. How did you manage not to get stuck?
Well, it's about knowing what I want, knowing what I'm pushing out, knowing my narrative, and not being like someone else. Be myself, because it is my story, not someone else's story. It's not about the Western story or the Western culture story. It's about the African story, and my environment tells a lot about it.
Indeed. I mean, when I look at your works, one thing that always resonates with me is that when I see any of your pieces, I can tell in an instant that that's one of Kingsley's work. That's one of, your pieces. How do you make sure that every time you draw, there's a little bit, is there something that you make sure you do? Is it the kind of paints you use? What is it that makes all these things connect?
It's a character I'm pushing because I try to capture emotion, power, feelings, and love in my paintings. So when you see my work, you should be able to single out that this is Kingsley, because as a matter of fact, naturally, you can't see two Kingsleys in the world.
Absolutely.
My work should be one, and one should be one. Yeah.
Wow. So, in terms of how your works have been finding their way around galleries across the world, how does it make you feel as an artist, seeing your works come from a humble beginning to being enjoyed across homes?
I feel satisfied. And I thank God for where I'm coming from, where I am now, and where I'm going to. I just feel satisfied.
Wow. So, as a creative, I know that and I always make room for this. I always feel like creatives, artists are quite peculiar in a certain way. They love things done in a certain way, things put in a little, I wouldn't call it OCD, in their own different ways. What would you say yours is? What is that thing that you must always have in place to make sure that before you even start doing a painting?
My easel,
Okay.
my canvas,
Okay.
or before that, my mind need to be in check. Then I go to the canvas to translate what I'm thinking on the canvas.
Wow.
That's it. So those things, I always make sure they're in place before I start work.
Are you able to work from other spaces other than your studio? Are you one of those that need to like literally sit in the studio and let it marinate? How do you work? Tell us about a day in the life of Mr. Kingsley Obasi.
Okay, I work anywhere. Of course, I go anywhere I go to with my sketch pad. I'm in London today. Trust me. In my hotel room, I have different sketches I've made already. So anywhere I go to, I'm not really want to be locked up in a space. Anywhere I go to, I just want to work, because I see things, and those things, trust me, they are very spontaneous. So I capture them by writing or by drawing them down. So I go back to my studio and blow it up the way I want it.
So when you start to create pieces, do you always create a series, or do you ever like just have one-off pieces that is just that inspiration at the time, or are they usually part of like a bigger family of works?
It depends on the mood. Some pieces can be very spontaneous, while some can be in a form of storytelling. Then I create a series for it. So it depends on the mood.
So what would you say are your peculiarities as an artist or as a human being? What are the things that Kingsley loves when he's not painting?
I love taking care of, because I have garden. I love being there when I'm not painting. And I love to sometimes be alone. Being alone sometimes is work for me. I can be busy looking at me. I'm busy doing nothing, but in my mind, I'm very serious. I'm working. So those times are my very peculiar times. So that is it.
Amazing. So when you make a piece of work, how long technically does it take you to finish a piece? Like one of the paintings I've got, for example, how long does it take you to deliver that work? And how is it for you when you're about to part with that work? Is there a bit of you that wants to hold on to it? And what's that process like for you?
Let me take the time frame for work first. For me, there's no particular time frame. It's about the mood. I can be in the mood, I get into the studio, and I'll lose the mood. So I can take, it depends. And there's no particular time frame, maybe 2 weeks, a month, a particular piece. No, it depends on the mood. Then for battling with my works is quite emotional for me. It's always
Can't imagine.
emotional for me, because it's something that's leaving me. I'm very attached to my works. Fine, we need to survive as an artist. We have bills to pay. And it's not about the money for me. It's about the connection I have to the work. And if as a collector, I'm not seeing that passion in you for my work. I'm sorry, we can't do business. Yeah, can't do business.
So you're one of those people that, will probably be like, no, my work is not for you.
No.
And you're able to walk away and not necessarily chase the sale.
Absolutely.
That's interesting. And one of the things that's always come to my mind is that sometimes artists work so hard on their paintings and they create this magical piece of work. And when they sell it on, sometimes they don't profit as much as the galleries, as much as the second-hand market, as much as people that sell on. What's your take on people that buy with the, not necessarily to enjoy, but buy to be able to resell and make money? How does that make you feel? Is there any part of you that wants to fight that? Or would you rather see your works with a collector?
There are certain things, trust me, you can't control. And like this is one of it. But it has always been my desire. I feel happy to see my work in people's homes and they value it. It's not about selling it because, fine, as an artist, I also need to think like a businessman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's not about the money for me. Although the money is good to keep me going in the practice because I'm a full-time studio artist.
Wow.
So I just want you to value it. I'm giving you something that comes from inside of me. So keep it well and appreciate it. It's not about the selling. So if I see people come to me and discuss money, it irritates me. Love the art first before the money comes in. Okay, that is all.
I think this is one of the peculiarities I'm talking about with artists, because sometimes I've heard about an artist before that refused to sell on his works because he felt that the person wasn't connecting with the work, but was more buying his work to sell on, and he refused to sell. So that's always been an interesting take for me. So earlier today when you walked in, I'm sure you saw that I have two of your pieces in the house. But tell me what was going on in your mind when you walked in and you saw two of your paintings on my wall.
I felt like a father who went to visit a child whom he has long seen.
Wow.
And I felt this warm embrace.
Amazing.
Yeah, I felt this warm embrace. And I want to say thank you for caring for the work. Yeah, it's well appreciated. Thank you. So I feel welcome, and I know the work is smiling at me too. So we smile at each other.
Absolutely. I feel like I should be thanking you, because oftentimes a lot of people are blessed with gifts that give unto others. Having your works on my wall, even way before I met you, and my first time meeting you today, is I've just always connected with it. I come in here, no matter what I've gone through outside, I come in here and there's this sense of, okay, I'm not doing too badly. I've got a Kingsley Obasi on my wall, and it makes me feel good on the inside. So thank you for sharing your works with the world. One of the things I wanted to really let people see is that sometimes when we have greats in the world, they're just as human as we are. And they love what we love. They live the life that we live. So I'm going to do something that is a little bit outside of the ordinary. I'm going to fire away some quick questions to you, hoping that people can relate to who you are, your personality, or even probably feel the pulse of who you are. And this is where I pick up my card, and I'm going to just mention a few words, and I want you to tell me, maybe in 2 sentences max, what your take is on that.
Okay.
So the first one is life.
Life, I love life, and life loves me too, because everything I know is goes around the life I live, my experiences, the people I meet, and all of that. So I love life, and life loves me too.
Relationships.
I'm a very reserved person. So I kind of find it difficult to connect with people who are very loud. And in that instance, I'm very picky with my friends. Very picky. So, and sometimes they don't understand me. So I don't think it's my problem. It's just my personality that they don't understand. So that is it.
Food.
Food. I love to eat. I love to eat. I love to eat both mental food and physical food. Yeah.
Holiday.
I love traveling. If I have my way, I will travel around the world. But it doesn't come cheap, you know.
Absolutely. Music.
I like it classic. Calm, classic. Yeah, that's it.
Fashion.
Whoa, I'm a fashion person. I love my fashion. I love my fashion.
I saw your pants. Perhaps you show us your pants.
Yes.
I saw that they're quite fun and
Yeah.
funky.
Yeah. I love fashion. I pay attention to my art, my fashion, and my lifestyle.
Money.
I have discipline with money. Yeah, I have discipline with money. Coming from my background and my upbringing, money is not a thing for me. If you set trap for me with money, I'm sorry. Don't catch me. Don't catch me. It's about self-discipline and contentment.
Women.
Women. I love women. By virtue of my career, they command aesthetics. They have this natural aesthetics. So I love women, I respect them, and I want to protect them too.
Attraction.
Attraction. I love nature. The sunsets, the view of beautiful flowers, birds, those things gets me real quick.
Men.
I love men who are intelligent. So that is it for me.
If you had one advice to share with the world, what would it be?
Be yourself. Don't let people see other persons in you. You are an individual and you should stand up for who you are. Just be yourself. Don't copy. Although you can be influenced, but don't copy. Yeah.
I love that. The influence, but don't copy.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because thank you for that, actually. I really enjoyed that. Be influenced, but don't copy. In the creative space, people tend to take a lot of, I don't know whether to call it inspiration or copyration, or where do we draw the line? At what point is it inspiration? At what point is it outright theft?
At the point where it is an inspiration is because you learn. The mind is designed for learning. I have a couple of artists who have inspired my work, but would I now be that artist that want to copy and let people see other person's work in my work? No. As a creative, be yourself. Yes, they can influence you. I have a couple of artists I respect. I understudy their work. I read about them. And not to copy them. Because the art world is a big place, but a very small place. And the collectors, the art dealers, the art lovers like you are not stupid. You have eyes. You can see where someone is not being original. So for that being original, stand out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that your brother was a big part of your inspiration. How has being a part of your art played into your relationship outside of art? So as family, as blood, how has being in the same industry, so to speak, played into your relationship?
One thing is no competition. Acknowledge his influence and be open for criticism. Because he's my brother. There's a very sharp contrast between our works. But as my blood brother, you can tell that, for instance, if you see a sibling of another person, you can tell, this is your brother, this is your sibling. That is in our work. But when you look at it, you see there's a big difference. So he mentors me. I'm open to learning. I love to learn. So sometimes I go to him, ask questions, and he directs me, he guides me. So
Okay.
that's it.
Okay, I'm loving the sound of that. So, for upcoming artists that want to exhibit across the world, like you have been, because I know that you're currently showing your works in London and you've done quite a few exhibitions in the US, across the world, how would you advise someone that is getting into the art scene to position themselves, to be maybe to follow your footsteps, basically?
Have a realistic expectations. Have a realistic expectations. It's not easy because you can't be everywhere at the same time. You will burn out. You need a representation. You can't be putting your art out there like someone who is selling a decorative art. So have limitation, be disciplined, and have mentors.
Okay, I want to go deeper into that. You can't put your work out there like someone who's selling decorative art. Can you break that down for an outsider like me, what that means?
Okay, what that means is that art commands value. And that value depends on you, the artist. Create scarcity, control your market price, and be careful of where you put your art. As you continue in the journey, people will come, everybody will just come. Look out for those who have real interest for your art and your craftsmanship, and not for those who are just there. Let me just make money from this thing and move on to the next artist. No. It will kill you. Just be careful, have patience, and be contented. Just don't push your art. Push your art everywhere. No. It will kill your market. It will kill your market.
Wow.
So
I love that. That's quite deep. One of the things that, one of the arguments, I don't know whether to call it argument, but one of the conversations I like to have around art is with collectors going with established names only. So you go into some people's homes and their collection only consists of known artists. What's your take about people given a chance or even just collecting from people that are upcoming? Because like you said, there's a business side to it, and that's what the collectors are looking at. They're looking at, okay, after I've loved it for a while, I want to be able to shift it if I want to.
yeah.
So how would you say one should balance with the aim of looking at bringing other people, the newbies, into where and what you're enjoying at the moment?
There are certain things you can't control. And you can't control if someone will like your art.
Yeah.
Let me say this. It's not your business for them to like your art or not.
Okay.
It's about you and what you're doing. People will connect to you. You don't go looking for them. People will look for you. So the collectors who have a particular big names that they collect, I think it's their choice. I'm not painting for them. I'm not looking for them to come and collect my work. I just do what I'm doing and love it. So they will come. They will come for it.
I love that. So for some of us that are in the UK and across the world that tend to not always have sight of what's going on in the art scene and this renaissance and how, people are buying your pieces and they're gaining value, and how does someone that lives outside of Nigeria, Africa, how can we connect more into what's happening in the art scene from your point of view?
From my point of view, it's about being available, being up to date in what's happening in the art world.
Yeah.
The advert is always on. Galleries, shows are always on. It's just to connect and join the train and see what is happening. That is it.
Incredible. So if there are other art lovers out there like me that want to meet with you and have like, a period where you just share and inspire, how can we connect with you?
I have a platform. They can reach out to me, but not to buy my works. If you want to get my works, go to the gallery. So that way is better. But you can call me, we discuss, we share ideas, we share experiences, but I'll leave it at that. Not to buy my works. If you want to buy my work, there are channels where you can get it from through the gallery.
You heard it from the man. You have to go through the galleries to collect and to buy some of his works. But if you do want to connect with the human behind, you can maybe follow him on Instagram. I think at some point at the bottom somewhere, I will be adding his Instagram handle. Please follow, like, subscribe, and share this. It's been such an honor to sit with an incredible artist out of Africa making big moves. And thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Really, really appreciate you spending time with us here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you once again. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been the incredible Mr. Kingsley Obasi. Any parting words for us in terms of your works and anything you want to share with the world?
Well, what I want to share is keep doing what you're doing. Be yourself. It's okay to copy. Be influenced, not copy. Be influenced, not copy. Yeah.
Be influenced, not copy.
Yeah.
Thank you once again.
You're welcome.